Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it, and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing the 2015 Bethune DB28 Zirconium Dark Shadows. A timepiece in matte black zirconium, extremely scratch resistant and feather light. It's 42.7 millimeters in diameter, not including the floating lugs, which feature variable geometry and spring-loaded action, so it can change its span across the wrist from as broad as 58 to as narrow as 53 millimeters, but it doesn't stop there. There's actually a second set of lugs that you can order that stretch from 47 to 51 millimeters, and they can be interchanged and swapped at the factory during service, so the watch has a great deal of ergonomic potential regardless of your wrist size. 11.4 millimeters thick. This is actually a thin watch that slides easily under a cuff. Despite the appearance of size, it is quite slender. 26 millimeter spacing between the lugs, so you can see the watch has a broad planted stance, and it uses a proprietary width strap. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and I can tell you that it is feather light. The timepiece, equipped with a thin strap to match its thin profile, uses double alligator leather on both sides, small round scale on the bottom, large rectangular scale on the top, semi-gloss monotone stitch folded edge. The reason you use double gator is just to get more mileage out of the strap. It creates a more expensive strap, but the strap lasts longer because calfskin on the bottom of a conventional strap is always the first thing to go. Putting gator on the bottom ensures you will get more years out of this strap. There is a matching matte finished zirconium buckle that actually matches the form of the lugs. As you can see, there's handsome design parallelism there. The ogival lugs, the torpedo or bullet shape, a little bit of a relic of the early Bethune designs by David Zanetta, one of the founding members of the brand, and you can see it's still present on the variable geometry floating lugs of the latest generation. The DB28 won the alligator back in 2011, so having won the grand prize of high horology, this is a decorated family of watches. It's also a Moonphase, and I want to emphasize there's a pusher adjuster on the flank that allows you to index. Let me go down to the base of the watch, allows you to index the spherical Moonphase display, which has an accuracy of 122 years, so you need only reset it using that pusher adjuster once every, well, century or so. Now, what you're looking at is blackened steel and white palladium. So one half of the sphere is black, one half of the sphere is polished, and then zooming out, you can see that there are indices in blackened titanium, outboard of a center dial with blackened and skeletonized modified Breguet style hands. It's sort of a hybrid of a Breguet hand and a Dauphine hand. Don't mind my JLC polishing cloth right there. We're going to jump back into the dial and focus on some of the proprietary tech of Bethune. You will note there's a lovely delta shaped bridge over the barrels, twin barrels with a little stubby power reserve indicator hiding between two jewels that mark the beginning and the end of its travel. So you have the power reserve indicator to trace 6 days of manual wind power reserve, and then you have 3 shock protection systems, 1, 2, and 3. The flanking shock protection systems of the triple parachute ensure that in addition to protecting the balance staff with Inca block, you have protection for the whole balance assembly, and this is proprietary. So is the wheel. The wheel is a disc of silicon, thermally resistant as well as anti-magnetic, and then there is a white gold rim to put all of the mass of the balance at its outermost face to create the moment of inertia that is most optimal. It is nevertheless a high beat balance. It's not a slow beat heavy balance. 28.8 is the beat rate, or 4 hertz, and there is a proprietary dog leg style 2-part hairspring that gives you the concentric beating, so positional stability of an overcoil without the shock vulnerability of an overcoil. And though you can't see it, there is also a silicone escape wheel to minimize friction in the escapement. I should also mention that the wheel, because it is a full circle and it has no outboard poising weights, it is actually an aerodynamic balance. So it is a remarkably sophisticated system that has maximum inertia, thermal resistance, and aerodynamic properties. You can see there is a great deal of detail on the front, but on the reverse side, there's arguably even more, as here we have more of a tonal contrast of silver, red, gold, the violet of pivot jewels, and of course the black of the base plate. You can see there are engine-turned perlage sweeps across the bridges and plates, satin finish across the levers and wheels of the power reserve system, and you have a power reserve with a 6-day, perhaps a more intuitive 6-day indicator than the stub indicator on the dial side. and you can see the mechanism as a whole. It is a thin watch, 30 meters water resistant. There is a screw down double knurled bullhead style crown that you use for both winding and setting, but with a 6-day power reserve you need not use it on a frequent basis. This is a timepiece that appears as a spaceship for the wrist from a brand that is run by one of the rock star watchmakers of our era in Denis Flageolet, and exclusive with only about 150 pieces made every year in L'Auberson, Switzerland. This is a watch from an up-and-coming brand, an up-and-coming genius watchmaker, and it's guaranteed to be the only one you'll ever see at your watch club or office. See it and make the dream come true on the Watchbox.